What's going on, everyone? I want to talk about the proposed trade from NBA Updates about the Los Angeles Lakers and Miami Heat switching point guards. Kyle Lowry going to the Lakers and Russell Westbrook going to the Miami Heat. Of course, I want to hear your thoughts and opinions. Let me know down in the comment section below, and let's dive into it. So, it was toyed around. Last year, the Lakers were trying to get Kyle Lowry on several occasions. Even at the deadline, there were rumors that they both had conversations about a potential trade that never ended up coming through. As far as I'm aware, it was just like an initial discussion, which makes sense. You want to throw it out there, see what the reciprocation is. But at that point, there was nothing that materialized. Well, Kyle Lowry is rumored to be available per the Miami Heat for a potential trade. Now, of course, this could just be a rumor, or it could just be Miami throwing it out there to kind of see what sort of sticks, what kind of grabs, what kind of teams and packages may be presented for a potential Kyle Lowry trade to get Jimmy Butler some help. Now, in this trade, it is LA Lakers receive Kyle Lowry, 3 years, $26.8 million, and forward Duncan Robinson, 5 years, $15.5 million. And then as far as the Lakers side trading to Miami, it would be Russell Westbrook. And now you might be thinking, like, Kyle Lowry and Duncan Robinson, why would they make this trade for just Russell Westbrook? Well, primarily it would be one, to get another star, somebody that can help Jimmy Butler, but also to get off of two bad contracts. Now, Kyle Lowry was great for Miami, but he's, again, very injury prone. That's a big issue that Miami has. Even in the playoffs, he wasn't himself because of injuries, and that is a big concern. Where Russell Westbrook, he's at least Mr. Reliable, right? He's always there. He shows up. He plays every game. The only games he didn't play this last year for the Lakers were games that they sat him down or towards the end of the season when it was already over and there was no point for him to play. Other than that, he would have played all 82 games. So Miami gets a guy that has the same drive, same commitment, same everything as Jimmy Butler, and a guy that will be there night in and night out. Also, Duncan Robinson, he's completely fallen out of Miami's rotation in many ways. He did get a little more shine in the finals, but he was, Eastern Conference Finals, that is, but he was terrible. And not just that, he was only getting those minutes because of injuries for the Miami Heat, and he wasn't very good. He wasn't very consistent. He wasn't the guy we saw from the bubble and the year following. So hopefully the idea for the Lakers is, like, we get Kyle Lowry, who we've wanted. It fits perfect next to LeBron James and Anthony Davis. We move off of Russell Westbrook, and we get a guy in Duncan Robinson who can hopefully sort of reignite the flame with playing next to LeBron James, where he's going to get the best looks he's ever gotten in his career, right? Anthony Davis, LeBron James are going to draw the attention. That leaves Duncan Robinson open to hopefully knock down threes. The problem is Duncan Robinson is a real defensive liability, so that doesn't help the Lakers in that department, where the Lakers didn't really need that. And Miami, they get to move off of two bad contracts for a guy in Russell Westbrook. If it works, then great. If it doesn't, well, now you have $44 million, $47 million in salary that you can actually move off of and hopefully go get Jimmy Butler, another star, the following year. So obviously for Miami, again, Jimmy Butler, we saw in this playoffs, he needs help. They have the defense. They have all the pieces they need to where a Russell Westbrook would actually fit on Miami. The problem is Westbrook isn't the greatest defender in the world, so he needs players around him that can help sort of cover that up. Miami has those things. Westbrook is really good at getting to the basket, driving and kicking, dumping off to the big man with Bam. Bam could be in the dunker spot. Bam is going to get a lot of easy buckets just from Westbrook, drawing in attention. Not just that, but Miami has the shooters. They have the guys around that can knock down the three ball. Now, in the playoffs, they weren't very great at the three ball, but all season they were knocking it down at a very efficient rate. So the idea is hopefully Westbrook can get those guys knocking down shots again, and then Westbrook could get back to being a triple-double guy. But worst case scenario, you have a guy that can at least get you 20 points a game night in and night out. Now, you might be thinking, well, he didn't average 20 last season with the Lakers, but he was the third option. And the games that he was the second or the first option in those games, we saw him have some great games, put up, 20 plus, and on top of that, also he had like a 35, 40-point game. All of those things show that Russell Westbrook still has that in him to go and be a scorer. Jimmy Butler can't do it alone. I mean, Jimmy Butler put on some amazing performances. I mean, Game 6, they should have lost that game, and the Boston Celtics should have won the series in 6, but Jimmy Butler put on an all-time great actual performance, and it was incredible. But the problem is he's the only one, and no one else is delivering, no one else is stepping up. You're trading 2 bad contracts for Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook and Jimmy Butler hopefully work. I mean, we saw how good Westbrook was next to a guy like Bradley Beal. And that worked beautifully. I mean, Bradley Beal to this day still talks highly about Westbrook and how great he was and how he missed playing with him and all those things. So Jimmy Butler might enjoy that as well. Having that guy that has that competitive drive, that has that, endless motor. And if he can work anything close to what he worked with Bradley Beal with Jimmy Butler, then that's great for Miami. That is huge. And if it doesn't work, well, you have $47 million to let off of, and then you can go get a guy like Bradley Beal. Or, maybe the door opens for somebody like Damian Lillard or something like that, and you can maybe get a trade package. You got an expiring contract. You can always trade Westbrook at the deadline. His contract is still going to be very interesting to a lot of teams that want to clear space. There are options. At the end of the day, it is a good option for Miami, given that Westbrook is an expiring contract. And if he is that guy, if he can get back to the Washington Wizards, Russell Westbrook, then Miami's in a better position than they are with Duncan Robinson and Kyle Lowry. Although Kyle Lowry, you can argue, maybe fits Miami's scheme better, just because, he's a guy that can play off the ball, on the ball. He's not a guy that has to get his touches, things like that. But Miami needs somebody that can come in and give you 20 points a game, night in and night out, never give up, just relentless. And I think that Russell Westbrook right now is the best option at this time. And then for the Lakers, it makes a ton of sense. You got Anthony Davis and LeBron James. You need to capitalize as much as possible in LeBron's, end of his career. You get a guy in Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry, he can play defense if he's healthy. He's a great guy. He can go and get you, 15 to 18 a game. He can alleviate LeBron James. He's a guy that the Lakers should have probably gotten last year, but didn't want to throw in a draft pick or THT and stuff like that. We've all heard the reports. So the Lakers, they move off of Russell Westbrook, which they want, right? Although Darvin Ham has said, and I know that, Westbrook's going to be part of the scheme. This is what I have planned for him, all of this stuff. But at this point, that's the stuff you have to say, because as of right now, Russell Westbrook is on the roster. I don't necessarily think that is confirmation that they are undoubtedly keeping him. I just think it's the possibility. Like, hey, if we get a good package, we get a good trade that's worth it, we will trade Russell Westbrook. If not, we'll keep him. He's an expiring contract at the end of the year. Maybe we can go get a third star for Davis and LeBron. Boom, there you go. But in this case, you would get a guy in Duncan Robinson who, if he can get back to being the Duncan Robinson that really lit up the NBA, then that is huge for the Lakers. Because then they got a 47%, I think it was like 48% from three. Even if he doesn't get that, if he can just get to 45%, whatever the case may be, then I think that is a good position. He is a defensive liability, and the Lakers need defense badly. But you're getting an experienced veteran who's won a championship, who knows what it takes in Kyle Lowry. He's a smart NBA vet. He's a LeBron type of guy. He can play on the ball. He can play off the ball. He is a prototypical point guard for what a LeBron James-led team would need. He would be perfect next to LeBron and Anthony Davis. If he can be that 18 a game guy, he can kind of be that third option and consistently give them 15 points a night, then I think the Lakers are in a really good position, because based on last year, the Russell Westbrook, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis experiment just didn't work. And now could with Darvin Ham, he wants to play 1 in, 4 out offense. Maybe you can get it to work. Maybe you can put Westbrook in the dunker spot. Anthony Davis can shoot from the outside. But the problem with Anthony Davis is he shot like 18% from 3 last year, which isn't good. If you can get bubble Anthony Davis, then that'll work beautifully and you're in a great spot. But that is yet to be seen. I think it works for the Lakers. Now, I don't think it's the best potential trade for the Lakers. I think in this case, the Brogdon and Buddy Hield trade would be better, but it's kind of the same idea, right? You get a shooter in Duncan who is just like Buddy Hield, very streaky, doesn't play defense, that kind of thing. You get that point guard that fits LeBron and Lowry and Brogdon that can play on and off the ball. I just think it's a very similar trade. It just comes down to who would want more or who would want less from the Lakers if this was a trade to go down. And then lastly, as always, I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. What do you think about this potential trade? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Again, I don't think this is going to happen. I'm not saying it's going to happen. It was just a report I saw, and I thought it was pretty interesting and wanted to hear your thoughts and opinions. So let me know. What do you think about Russell Westbrook going to the Miami Heat? Do you think, yeah, it makes sense? Do you think, no, it doesn't? Why would Miami do that? If it doesn't work, like I said, you got an expiring contract to hopefully go get Jimmy Butler, another star. You move off of a bad contract in Duncan Robinson. You move off of an okay contract in Kyle Lowry, but he's kind of overpaid. Based on what we saw last year, he's overpaid. So I think it would be good for Miami in that sense. If Russell Westbrook works, then beautiful. Maybe you even re-sign him next year on a smaller deal. Maybe you're re-signing him for like $15 million a year. Because Russell Westbrook is not going to get a $40+ million contract ever again for his career. But if he works out for Miami, he buys in, he wants to stay there, then it's great. You could probably re-sign him for a decent and reasonable type of contract, and you'd still have money to go get somebody else, and maybe you can form your own kind of big three in Miami once again. But I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. Lets me know you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, followed by the bell notification. Stay up to date with all things sports. Join this wonderful community and all of our discussions. I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you.